Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith. I'm Molly Karen Rose. I guess I will start with the Steelers. Stephen A. Big Ben. He looked all right. 3 TDs. They get it done. They get the win, 26-16. As for the Giants, struggling, put it kindly. Here's my guy, Saquon.
I got to be better. I got to be better for the team. Got to find a way to get the run game going. That's just how I truly believe. I got to go back and watch film to give you an honest answer. Can't just talk off emotions, but one thing that just pops off in my mind is find a way to get the run game going for this team. I know that's going to be a key part of our success, and I truly believe in it, and I still believe in it. And, just keep grinding at it, keep working at it, and find a way.
Stephen A., I'll start with you. And you know what's really the saddest part in all of this? Is I actually had hope. So I'm just going to laugh at myself for a second. Stephen A., what was the bigger headline, Big Ben's return or the Giants' woes?
Well, first of all, Molly, I think the important point is to understand is that you don't have to laugh at yourself. I'll laugh at you. I tried to tell you, Molly. I tried to tell you. All right. I mean,
I didn't want to see you today.
Why would you laugh at yourself when I am here to do that for you? No need for you to exert that kind of energy. I'm laughing at you
everyone.
because it's not that they lost the game. It's not that they lost the game, Max Kellerman, because you don't hide in the closet like you suddenly ain't some Giants fan. Oh, no. Come on out. You too, Max. All right. I told y'all yesterday, without Pastor Spears in attendance, because I didn't need his help in this matter, I told y'all Saquon Barkley would be neutralized. Did I not say that? I believe I said it because I was sitting here when I said it. I told you that brother would not have a big day because to me, that's the story. That's the story. I understand that Big Ben looked good, and he's back, and Juju Smith-Schuster, and James Washington, and Deontay Johnson, and these boys, and Eric Ebron. They're ecstatic that they've got a first-string quarterback, let alone a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and a future Hall of Famer quarterback for them, instead of some third or fourth string like they were saddled with last year. But the real thing that resonated with me was 15 carries for 6 yards. By the way, 8 of those carries were for minus yards. They were for negative yards. Talk about being completely neutralized. I tried to tell y'all this defense, that one that even Max acknowledged over the last few months, but suddenly engaged in selective amnesia yesterday when it came to thinking about the Giants and Saquon Barkley. This is what I tried to tell you, okay? The Steelers' defense is no joke. I don't think that, again, their secondary to me sometimes is suspect because they got a bunch of short dudes in that secondary, but they've got speed, they've got athleticism, they tackle well, they got a front seven that can get it done, especially their linebacking core. The bottom line is Saquon Barkley was not going to get off. And when you combine that with the fact that Daniel Jones has not had Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard, along with this kid right here, Darius Slayton, who I think's got some talent. And by the way, him and Daniel Jones seems to have some chemistry thing going on there. The fact is, when you look at that along with Ingram, the New York Giants and Daniel Jones has not had all of his weapons available to him. I think even Jason Garrett called a good game. But in the end, it came down to Saquon Barkley and what he was going to do. And if they didn't let Saquon Barkley beat him, they were not going to lose this game. That is what happened. It is what I told you would happen. You didn't want to listen because you put on your pom-poms, Molly. You put on your pom-poms. Max even went and got a haircut.
Loyalty.
I mean, did y'all notice that
fandom.
yesterday? Max had a nice crew. Max had a nice crew cut from the 1980s going on there. You understand? Molly was sitting there in her Giants blue, acting like y'all were going to do something. And what happened? What happened? What I told y'all was going to happen. Next time.
Disappointment happened.
Next time, you'll know better. There you go. Take it away, Max. Floor's yours.
First of all, Darius Slayton's good. We know that. The Giants have believed they had a number one receiver in him since last year. I think they're probably right. Yes, yesterday was about Saquon Barkley. It was about Saquon Barkley. If you get tackled behind the line of scrimmage 11 times, you get contacted as soon as you touch the ball behind the line of scrimmage 11 times, those aren't tackles for losses. Those are sacks. Saquon Barkley was getting sacked. It's one thing to stack the box, and I thought Saquon was going to have a big game. because you can use him in the run and the pass game. But it's one thing to stack the box. It's another thing to send all 11 guys on every play toward the running back. I don't think I can remember ever seeing that kind of defensive attention to one running back. That was unbelievable and a great job by the Steelers. Now, it lets Daniel Jones, it gives him opportunities. It gives other players the chance to get open. And by the way, Daniel Jones was doing a pretty good job of that early in the game, but he made the kind of critical judgment errors that I blame Carson Wentz for still making. Of course, the difference is Wentz is in year 5. Daniel Jones is on his rookie deal in year 2. Nevertheless, Daniel Jones' decision-making is the reason they really didn't have a chance in the game as the game wore on. They had a chance to add to their lead on one drive, and T.J. Watt made a great play. But then later on, they're driving down. They're very likely to score a touchdown, and he turns it over instead of just taking the sack or throwing it away. That's poor judgment by a young quarterback. What bothers me about all this is not Saquon not getting the yards, because that means, as I said, there will be other opportunities if you're going to put all 11 guys on the running back. It's not even Daniel Jones making bad decisions in critical moments because, again, he's a second-year quarterback, and he showed me other things that I liked. It's the offensive line, and I get Nate Solder opted out. This has been going on now, and they've made improvements last year. Oh, wait a minute, maybe they'll turn a corner. They draft the whole thing. This has been going on now for how many years? It feels like about a decade already. It's enough. They have to fix that. If it's not the pass protection, it's the run blocking. Yesterday, the run blocking was no good. They couldn't get it going on the ground, and that was basically it. Between that and Daniel Jones's decision-making in crunch time, the Giants really didn't have a chance. But I'm not putting this on Saquon Barkley. There's no one who ever lived who's going to pick up a bunch of yards, giving the defensive game plan of the Steelers yesterday, which is every single person on the field, don't let 26 beat you.
I ain't talking about the Giants that much. I mean, did y'all see that defense? That was the same defense last year that almost had the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs with what Stephen A. references third string, fourth string quarterbacks. Listen, we all know you got to stop Saquon Barkley, and that's your best chance to beat the Giants. But the Giants got to figure something else out. Daniel Jones can't turn the ball over in the red area to the points that you made, Max. The bottom line is this, though. Big Ben is back. This team has new juice. They feel offensively, this defense feels offensively that all we got to do is make sure we get him the ball enough and we can win games. If not win our division and have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. This Pittsburgh Steelers defense is a problem for every team in the league, Stephen A. It ain't about the Giants being bad. It ain't about Saquon Barkley being a great back and them just stopping him and committing everybody to the box, Max. This defense did this to a lot of people last year. This offense for the Pittsburgh Steelers was scoring 11 points, and they were winning those games. They were winning them. So whether they want to commit to the box, whether they want to stop you from throwing, this defense has showed the propensity to do all of those things. In any game that they play, they did a tremendous job last night. And look, we know the Giants ain't world beaters. And Max, to your point, the line of scrimmage got to get better for the Giants because in the glory days, as much as we want to talk about OBJ and Eli and even dating back to when Brandon Jacobs was there, when I was playing against him, it was the line of scrimmage for the New York Giants that got them to Super Bowls, that won Super Bowls for them. It was a defensive line that could get after the quarterback, the opposing quarterback. Them stacking the box on Saquon ain't have nothing to do with the Giants not being able to apply pressure to Ben. Ben just getting back, was playing nervous. Ben can't move that well, let's be honest. And they could not get to him. They could not sack Ben Roethlisberger. So we got all of these excuses that we gonna create. Let's just give the Steelers their credit and say this defense has been championship level since last year, and now they got a Hall of Fame at quarterback with good receivers that trust him and know he gonna get them the ball. The Steelers are a problem, and the Giants ain't good. That's what it boiled down to.
Well, I don't think it boils down to simply that, Marcus. And the only reason I'll question it is because I know that the Steelers are stout against the run. I have complete confidence in their speed and their athleticism and their tackling ability. But in terms of secondary, When you can throw the football, I have seen too many plays given up. Now, Minka Fitzpatrick arrived, and they definitely elevated their pass defense. No doubt about that, because the brother is special, and I get all of that. But the flip side to it is that when you beat the Steelers, if you really, really pay attention, Marcus, to who beats the Steelers, it's usually people who can throw the football. They don't get run over. You don't beat the Steelers with a running game.
No doubt.
You beat them throwing the football. So, again, because Daniel Jones was a big compromise in terms of the weapons he didn't have available to him. I'm not saying you're wrong about the Steelers' defense. I'm saying there's nothing wrong with taking a wait-and-see approach with their pass defense. When Max and I and Molly had Mike Tomlin on the show last year, he joked around with me because I've been getting at him about that that secondary for years. I've been going, and he checked me a little bit on it to talk about how we're improving, et cetera, et cetera. So it was a fun segment. I'm simply saying that their secondary is usually a question mark. They're usually there, but because they're relatively short,
but since
if
they
you are
as you
somebody that
mentioned,
can go up
Stephen A.,
and get it, it's usually an advantage for you.
As you mentioned, since they got Minka Fitzpatrick, the defense went from good to excellent. That's what held the season together for them, to me, without Roethlisberger last year.
Yeah.
If you want to say, do they have a shot at a Super Bowl this year based on what we saw yesterday, I think the answer is yes. Of course, there's going to be some sloppy play this early in the season without a preseason, but given that Tomlin went 8-8 without Big Ben, now he's got Big Ben back looking pretty sharp for a guy who's been off that long, I think you have to say yes. My issue with the Giants is the same now as it's been for years. It's not that they don't invest in the offensive line. High draft picks, big free agent contracts. For years now, they've been trying to address this. Gettleman, the GM, said when he got the job, he was going to address the offensive line. They have not been successful enough at it. It has gotten better, but not good enough. No pass protection. Then pass protection, no run blocking. They must, listen, Swagoo, as you mentioned, that's how the Giants have always won. You know, defense, yes, but always. Bill Parcells with his hogs up front, right? Always offensive line, even with the Eli teams. Offensive line, this has been going on, Molly, now for over, it feels like a decade. They can't get it right.
Mm-hmm.
Let me real quick, let me flip this back to the other side. Stephen A., you make a good point. You could throw for a lot of yards in this league. Good defenses give up a lot of yards. But you know what the Steelers don't give up? A lot of touchdowns, which is their calling card. And secondly, now that you have been, from a football perspective, you are going to put an immense amount of pressure on the other team to make big plays. And you give this defense an opportunity to know what's coming, this could be the best defense in the NFL. Last year, this defense held it together with glue, with an offense that put pressure on nobody to do anything outside of what they needed to do. Now you telling me Ben could possibly give you high 20s to 30 points a game with this offense, and you gonna allow T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree and Cam Hayward and Bush when they blitz him and Minka Fitzpatrick when they blitz him to tee off? I like those chances for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's my point. You can give up 400 yards passing. You don't give up touchdown. You remember how good the Patriots was when they won the Super Bowl?
Yep.
Bad defense in the big field to play. You get to that red area, they clamp down. I think they were like #1 in the league. That's who the Pittsburgh Steelers are.
Elite quarterbacks, you can't blitz 29 times. Against elite
You
quarterbacks.
can't, Stephen A., but they got rushers up front. They got guys up front.
I'll leave you all with this.
I'm telling you. Steelers a problem, man.
Okay, yeah, the
I know
Steelers
that.
are a problem, and the Giants ain't good. I heard you earlier, Marcus Spears. Thank you so much for that wisdom. Mark is sticking around here with us. The Giants get the Bears Sunday. True. And the Steelers, Broncos. Fellas, we got a whole lot coming up, though. More NFL, more NBA. Let's keep it going. According to Max, Brady looked like just a guy. Plus, his coach piled on. Are the fellas worried about TB12? They'll tell you that next. Plus, NBA playoffs on deck. The Nuggets took Kawhi to a Game 7. It all goes down tonight on ESPN. What does this mean for the Claw? We get into that. The NFL's back, y'all, and First Take is so hyped about it, but we want to see you rep your team. We want you all decked out in your favorite fan gear, and the most hyped fans are going to end up on First Take. So send us the video, tag First Take.